Hello everyone, good day from Central Florida, USA. Welcome to Powerful Couple Journey, where we discuss about J1 waiver processes. And the topic that we're going to do today are the common mistakes that J1 holders do with their J1 waiver processes. And I come up with this kind of topic because based on the J1 waiver helping hands group with our Facebook private group, there are certain J1 teachers that are asking on specific questions, and we are going to discuss it here. That way, a lot of people will benefited or get some benefits when it comes to the questions that they have, and we're going to address our question based on my own experience as a J1 teacher with 212-year rule from the Philippines, now a green card holder. So the first question here is, to those who have RFEs, RFE stands for Request for Evidence, especially with your Form I-485 without an approved waiver. What did you do? Did you reapply? So based on my own experience, I submitted my Form I-612 first and then followed by the Form I-485. I have a request for evidence for both. And to answer this question is, you have to address whatever is in the request for evidence because that is unique to your case. Whatever questions they have that is based on the paper files that you submitted to the USCIS, and they're going to give you 60 to 90 days. In my case, they gave me 60 days, I believe that was in the year 2022. So probably now they're going to give you like an extension for 90 days to answer the request for evidence. Just make sure that you have screenshots of your Form I-612 that says you submitted those forms already and just waiting for the Form I-485 and the Form I-612 to get approved. And you also have to pray for your case handler, which is your adjudicating officer with the USCIS, because we don't know if they're going to give you a decision right away based on the evidences that you submitted, or they're going to wait for your Form I-612 because they know that the Form I-612 takes longer than usual. It will take a year or a year and a half before they're going to give you a decision. So make sure you submit your Form I-612 first, then you do your DS-3035 or whichever goes first or comes first because that is very important. The DS-3035 with the Department of State and the Form I-612 with the USCIS goes hand in hand. And whenever you have questions when it comes to the Form I-485, it's really connected to those two because we J1 teachers from the Philippines has 212E rule, 2-year home residency requirement. Not unless you have your no objection statement granted from the Philippines, then you no longer need to get a waiver. But based on my own experience and a lot of the experiences of our J1 teachers now, even though married to their U.S. citizen spouse and have their U.S. citizen child, they still need to get a waiver because they started to submit the no objection statement and there's vague answers and they don't even know what to do. Most of them got denied and they said that it's for humanitarian reasons, but they did not lay what are the prior things to submit or evidences to that are required for that. They even said that based on the guidelines of the no objection statement from the Philippines, they said that if the Philippines will benefit from your studies here abroad, then they might give you the no objection statement. But again, it's too hard to do. A lot of our J1 teachers, especially with our group J1 Waiver Helping Hands group, they have their own lawyers and they submitted through J1 Waiver, and that's their way to go. And we are so happy to let you know that we have J1 teachers already who got approved with their Form I-612, and now they are on their way to getting their green card. So it is very important to know the step-by-step process, and that way you don't have to get confused. So I'm going to write some of the things that I'm going to have here. So let's just start this way. In the year 2021, I got married to my husband April of 2021. It's on my third year as a J1 teacher. It is not recommended because you might get terminated from your visa sponsor, especially now. Let me mention with the EPI. If that's your visa sponsor, they're going to ask you through an email some certain questions like, are you not going to get married to a US citizen? Or you're not going to file for a waiver. So they are very into those details because they wanted to stay with the integrity of the J1 visa program. And we can't blame them because that's their institution, that's their program that they wanted to uphold with whatever they have had connected to the Department of State. But then we don't know, a lot of our J1 teachers have found their partners here. So what are the things you have to do? Make sure you are on your second year or fourth year as a J1 teacher. Second year because you are going to file your J1 waiver on your second year, and it will take at least 2 years to process all the way to getting your green card. Or fourth year, it's because you already got your extension. And why do we need to have an extension? That way you are still on status while you are submitting or filing your J1 waiver. I will not really recommend based on my immigration lawyer, but based on my own experience submitting a do-it-yourself process and now a green card holder, you need to be in status while filing this. I asked an immigration lawyer and she vividly says you need to be in status while you are processing your papers because you might get denied and you might be barred from coming here in the US even though you are married to your US citizen spouse. So it's not a shield if you got married to your US citizen spouse that you are okay being out of status. So make sure you are still on status while you are processing your papers. So first things first, you need to submit your Form I-130. The Form I-130 is a petition for alien relative, and this is very important because this is your husband saying that I will sponsor you. I'll be the one that stands as your sponsor, and you no longer need your visa sponsor for that. But there is something that hinders that sponsorship. It's our 212E rule, home residency requirement. So right after you submit your Form I-130, don't forget to include the Form I-130A because that's a supplement. So Form I-130A is free, and what you can do is go to uscis.gov and submit those two. So if there's no electronic signature for this, put all the forms, file this online, and you can submit both of the signatures that you have because these need signatures, birth certificate, marriage license copy, and make sure you need a photocopy and notarize one. Submit it online or you can submit it through paper filing. Either way, but make sure you have to submit with your money order or check. So those two are very important. The next thing, okay, this is the number one that I submitted. Let me put 1 and 2. Okay, those are things I submitted. The next thing I submitted based on my own experience is my Form I-612. That's what I submitted. I have my Form I-612. So this one right here, I had the Form I-612. This is the waiver for the foreign non-immigrant, which is us. With this one, you need statement of reasons. You need to have a lot of evidences. If you would like to know more about my own evidences, I have their POWELLfulCoupleJourney.com. Get the checklist and you will know what are the things I prepared in order for me to arrive on a statement of reason and different things that I have had submitted. Remember, you need to file through paper filing with your Form I-612. Why? You might need at least 500 pages. Based on my own experience, we overwhelm the USCIS with lots of evidences. So make sure you have these. The packets are very important. And by the way, if you are still looking for or thinking if you are subject to the 212E rule, submit your advice, your opinion, travelstate.gov with the Department of State, and it's free. The only payment you have to do is mailing your barcode with your packet and your case number. That's all you need to submit. Most probably, you're only going to spend $29 through USPS. So it depends on you. Get your advice or opinion today. So Form I-612. The next thing you gotta have to do is DS-3035. I made a huge mistake by not submitting my DS-3035. I waited for the USCIS to say, case on hold. You need your DS-3035 submitted to the Department of State because we need their advisory opinion, which is their favorable recommendation, before we can process or proceed to giving you an approval notice. So again, Form I-612, then DS-3035. That's the number 4. Then give them few times, maybe like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or maybe 2 months. The number 5 that I have submitted, and I'm so blessed during this time because during this time we have concurrent filing, which is 3 forms. I only have to pay 1. But now you have to pay all of these. Number 5 is the Form I-485. The Form I-485 is the adjustment of status. And granting you are married to a U.S. citizen, once you get or submit this one, they can give you a work permit. Form I-765. That is the work permit. They're going to give you biometrics after your submission, probably like around 4 months to 6 months. And then they can make sure you have your biometrics. You appear to your biometrics, and then they're going to give you the letter. And soon you're going to get your work permit. So how nice is that, right? Especially for those J1 teachers that are still in status with their J1, but no longer want to teach, because we know teaching is very stressful. It depends on which state you are in, but I am so stressed with teaching. I am no longer a teacher, but now I'm helping J1 teachers because this is my advocacy of helping you. I'm so thankful that I am no longer a teacher. Number 1 thing is all stress are gone. So thankful to God. So make sure you have all your forms. Next, this was concurrent filing when I did this with the Form I-131. So this is 5, 6, 7. So that is the thing. So again, number 1, submit your Form I-130 together with your Form I-130A. You can do this online, and with your signatures, you can submit through paper filing. 3, 4, Form I-612 and DS-3035, they go hand in hand. 5, 6, 7, submit your Form I-485, Form I-765, and then your Form I-131. Those are very important. Now, including these forms with your Form I-485, you need to have a medical letter from the surgeon. But in my case, I didn't submit it yet because it takes 2 years. Once after the 2 years, it will expire. Then you have to resubmit again, and it's very expensive. So I just waited for every opportunity I have for my RFE, and I even have like a request again for my Form I-485 that says, this is a courtesy letter asking for your medical letter. Submit it now. That way you can make a decision. And I'm so thankful to my adjudicating officer. I'm telling you, you need to have all the prayers you have for your adjudicating officer or case handler, because they are the one who will determine if they're going to have to deny you without your evidences, especially with your approval of the Form I-612, or they're going to wait before your Form I-612 has been approved. So that right there is very important. And always say thank you to each letter that you submit to the adjudicating officer, because remember this, they're also human beings. They wanted to feel like this person right here has a heart of knowing that I need to learn their love story, their situation, and I'm the one who is the final person to approve their letter or not, or to approve their case or not. This is true not just if you are submitting through your immigration lawyer or through do-it-yourself process. We have a lot of J1 teachers who are doing them by themselves, but what makes them very anxious is, oh my gosh, I don't know the timeline, I don't know what to do with this and that. Look at the processing time on each of the forms. That way, you know that you are still in the timeline. If not, then ask for help with your state senator or state congressman, because they can tap the USCIS, the Department of State, saying, hey, you are already out of the timeline that you posted here. We wanted to see if Mr. So-and-so can get their approval notice, which I had asked 3 times with our state senator through my US citizen spouse. And they were able to create um, a letter for me asking the USCIS, and they are so good. They even call me in the afternoon or in the evening time around 8 p.m., just letting me know that they're gonna get a decision in a week or two. So see, that is very impressive right there. And get the opportunity of the election time, because this will really tell who wins in the presidency in 2024. The other one is just okay with us or you staying here out of status. And the other one is really into the immigration processes. So think about your situation. Do not say that I'm married to a US citizen, I can overstay, I will just be a stay-at-home mom and do nothing, or not even proceed with my J1 visa program. I'm sorry to say you can't do that. If I were you, I have to play safe, especially that my papers are still on play with the USCIS. And I've even heard, based on the J1 Waiver Helping Hands group on Facebook, on the conversation there, that they were even visited by the USCIS asking them if both the couple, the US citizen spouse, and the J1 is in the same house living together. So see, they are doing their homework, guys, and they are not your friend. So make sure all the papers are saying, yes, give me an approval, but be nice to each of the sentences that you have, appealing to them, pleading to them to take a look at your totality of circumstances, because that's what you wanted to have. Now, let's go back to our forms. The Form I-612 and the DS-3035 has almost the same evidences. What are the evidences you have to have? Number one, of course, you're married to your US citizen spouse, so you need to have a marriage certificate. Make a lot of copies for that. Next, you have to have your grounds for your waiver. Let's just say married to a US citizen. I can vouch to that because I'm married to my husband, William, and I'm so happy that I'm a green card holder. This is my way of sharing to you. What we did was we sat down together and we strategized. I asked about my husband's past and what are the things that we can use and what are the things that we can put up on his emotional hardship. That's the number one. And I'm so thankful that my father-in-law gave us a letter that supports my husband's sworn statement letter. Again, powerfulcouplejourney.com. All of our evidences are there. It's you that we would like to pick and choose. It's really up to you. Go ahead. Then you need to have psychological evaluation. I know it's expensive, but think of this, it's worth it because you have, I'm telling you now, you have a professional that's looking at your situation and not just you. You have someone that's saying that I can vouch to this relationship because they've been seeing me, especially the US citizen, and he has a severe anxiety. Once his spouse has to go back to the home country, just like the Philippines, to fulfill the 212E rule. So you have to sit down with the psychological therapist or forensic psychologist, call your local provider if your health insurance or your insurances, whatever you have, is helping you with the copay. So think of that perspective. The other thing too is medical letter. My husband doesn't have a severe problem, but what he has is like gastrointestinal problem, and he is really vocal to his medical doctor, and he says that because of my immigration processes, he has a lot of anxiety lately, and he wanted to really get a medicine that will help him soothe his pain because this is too much for him to handle. As an American, he doesn't want to have to feel this way because he feels like he is an American. He can have his spouse with him and flourish together with him and act like they are really a family here in the United States of America. But what can we do? We have our 212E rule. So that's the thing that you have to tell your medical doctor or your US citizen's medical doctor. Always remember this. The Form I-612 and the DS-335 is an appeal to give you the benefit of an approval. For the Form I-612, it's going to be an approval for your waiver, and the DS-335 will be the favorable recommendation. They're going to recommend you to the USCIS to give you the final approval. Remember, even though you have the favorable recommendation with the Department of State, the USCIS will still have the last say to give you the final approval. And then you can move forward with your adjustment of status, which is the Form I-485, which is the green card. So think of those situations, think of those scenarios. Always make sure that you have all the evidences. Other grounds is financial hardship. Make your monthly budget. Make sure you both of you has bank statements. I always say this over and over again. Document, document, document. You have to document everything. That way, you not only give them all the reasons to say yes, but you give them all the reasons to say, oh, right. They have the papers that supports their claim. So financial statement is very important based on your bank statement account. And that is what we did. My husband and I own a car together. So that is also included with our evidences. And he said there in his sworn statement letter that if I'll have to be forced to go back to the Philippines, what will happen to him? He will have credit card debts that he has to pay alone. He will have car payments that he has to pay alone. He will have a mortgage that he has to pay alone. So think of that financial situation of your US citizen spouse. Other thing too is employment hardship. What do you think will happen if your spouse will accompany you to the Philippines or to your home country? Do you think he can work based on his work here in the US? Let's just say he is a US military. Let's just say he is working in a technical field. Do you think his education is fit enough to work in the Philippines? So put that one into perspective. That is one of your strong evidences. The other one is poverty, corruption, um, safety, crime in your home country, just like the Philippines. So think of how it will impact your US citizen spouse. Those are the hardship claims that you can have. I'm telling you, this is not going to be easy. It's a roller coaster ride. But what is the most important thing here are the evidences, the totality of your circumstances. And I have a lot of J1 teachers and J1 River Helping Hands group giving their insights as well on how they did it. And most of them are really happy that they are not alone. And that's what's most important. We are not alone in our journey with our J1 waiver. There's a lot of people now who has their green card. They are with their spouse. They are with their children, U.S. citizen child, because they got their waiver, either do-it-yourself process or they did it through an immigration lawyer. But think of this, with an immigration lawyer, there's no guarantee, not a guarantee still that you'll get your waiver. So if you would like to do it yourself, make sure you follow all the instructions with the USCIS and the Department of State. Everything is in there. The only thing that you have to include are your evidences. That's why I made powerfulcouplejourney.com so that way you could see what are the evidences that we have. And this is a platform, Powerful Couple Journey, to tell you how I did my J1 waiver on my own. During my time, nobody's sharing this, nobody's willing to help, nobody has an idea, but I did my own research. Right after school, as a teacher, after I eat my dinner, I sit down, I look at the computer, pray to the Lord, Lord, please show me articles about J1 waiver. Please show me what are the things that I can highlight? What are the things that I can answer? What are the things that the USCIS is asking me through my request for evidence? So those are the things that you have to put in mind. Just be calm, pray all the time because prayer will do a lot to you. And not just you, but to your US citizen spouse. Because they will become and they feel like they are not alone and you are there supporting the claim that there's really a hardship. So I am so thankful that you are here. For those who are watching, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this to other J1 teachers or J1 visa holders alike. That way, you'll also be guided. And also, go to powerfulcouplejourney.com. Just take a look at those. I have videos there that is showing to you what are the things that I have created and the things that I have explained here one by one. That way, you will have your own copy. And visit powerfulcouplejourney.com, Powerful Journey, Couple Journey in our YouTube channel, and J1 River Helping Hands group with the Facebook. Just agree to group rules, and I, as your admin, will accept you immediately. If you are requesting other J1 teachers to come, just let them know they have to do it on their own. Because if you just request to them to or have an invite, I will not agree to that one because they just have no response. It needs to be, you have to agree to group rules. Why? To have the harmony of our group, to sustain the harmony of our group. For those who are watching right now in Florida, we are praying for you. We should be staying safe. Tomorrow there will be a tropical storm Helene, and the school district, the place that I'm working, because I'm a state government now, no longer working in the school district, we are close. That way, we are staying safe with our family. So, for those who are in Florida, stay safe. We are praying for you. Keep on praying, keep on having a beautiful journey with the Lord because all of this is from Him. And all the ideas that I'm sharing you is based on my experience that God has given to me because this is my way of showcasing the ideas I have. And this is my direct way of talking to people through live videos. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Powerful Couple Journey, for more videos about J1 waiver and the life that we have here in the United States of America. Thank you so much. God bless. And you have a great day.